Abduction, Chapter 11. It was mid-afternoon before Echo and I left the apartment to meet Ivanovna, the reporter. Memories of our interview with Bogdan and Taya were fresh in my mind. Although I did not discuss my thoughts with Echo, I could not help but start seeing her thoughts on the topic. I began to wonder if these alien incursions on Earth were more coordinated than anyone could have imagined. Perhaps the aliens we came across had other intentions with the cargo they were carrying. I was open to the possibility of this being true, but I wasn't convinced quite yet. I had our interview with Masha Ivanovna on my mind as well. I promised to interview if we got the couple's address that had been abducted by aliens recently. Echo and I were to go over our own alien experience and what we found out during our interview with Bogdan and Taya. Masha's office door was open. She was waiting for us like a reporter anticipating juicy information to put into print. If I were her, I would be expecting something explosive. The information Echo and I had could make money for Ivanovna and set the paranormal world on fire. I had questions of my own for Miss Ivanovna. I had hoped she would have answers for them. "Good to see you again, my friends. Come in," said Ivanovna. "Tell me about what you have found out." Echo entered the office, and I followed. I examined Ivanovna for any injuries. She had fallen at Lubart's castle. There might be a bruise on her arms, or maybe not. It may not have been her that slipped on the ice when I heard the screams, but if I find out what she knew, my examination came up with nothing. "I don't know where to start," muttered Echo. "I do," I said. "Bogdan and Taya did have an alien encounter. They were abducted." Masha raised her eyebrows in surprise. "How can you be sure?" I could see the terror in her eyes. "Either they were abducted, or they had something horrible happen to them," I said. "No, the way they were acting could only come from being around those alien creatures. I did not get this impression when I spoke with them over the phone. I thought they were not believable," said Ivanovna. "The story seemed made up." "As incredulous as their story may sound to you, all you had to do was watch their body language and hear the timbre in their voices," I said. "These are two things you can't do over the phone, and people don't usually act naturally over the phone either." "They were scared, Masha," injected Echo. Ivana looked at Echo. "The male, Bogdan, did not sound scared when I phone interviewed him. He sounded proud. He spoke like he thought it was a joke." I had to wonder who Masha Ivanovna interviewed. There was nothing in how Bogdan acted or sounded which gave me the impression that he was proud of being abducted. In my mind, Bogdan Lomachenko behaved admirably in the face of the unknown. My own experience taught me that. The real you comes out under stressful circumstances, and a UFO abduction would do that. Ivanovna squinted and pursed her lips. "Perhaps he did not like me. This is why, of course, I asked you to go visit them. This way, I would get the truth about what happened to them. Both of you believe their story and can now tell me more about what happened. Can you tell me how they encountered these aliens? Were they at home when they were kidnapped?" Echo repeated everything we knew about Bogdan and Taya's alien abduction. I watched as Ivanovna took notes. She did not look my way but a few times as she wrote. Instead, she focused on Echo as a storyteller. I thought about injecting my thoughts as Echo spoke, but decided against it. Echo weaved the truth in a fashion that did not require my input. "This story is good," muttered Ivanovna. "I can use this for my paper. People will love this story. Now you owe me an interview. I need to know about your experience with aliens." Ivanovna looked at Echo, but she said nothing. Instead, she turned her gaze to me. I was the one that said we would give an interview. Still, I knew the limitations put upon us per our agreement with the Belarusian government. For me to say too much would be a violation of that agreement. It was a verbal agreement, but I still wanted to honor it and keep my word. Echo would not have a problem telling the entire story of what happened to Ivanovna, but I did. "I can't tell you everything," I muttered, "but what I can tell you is that we encountered alien life forms." Ivanovna leaned forward in her seat like she was about to hear something juicy for her online blog. I had her full attention, and for once she was not focused on Echo. I was happy because the way the reporter looked at Echo made me uneasy. I account for this because I did not like the woman, and Ivanovna probably could sense it. "Tell me where this encounter took place," said Ivanovna. "Our run-in with the aliens took place in eastern Ukraine," I said. "We were in the city of Sumy last year on vacation." I lied and looked over at Echo in hopes she would confirm my lie to the reporter. The lie wasn't entirely untruthful. Because of the agreement, I couldn't say where we had our encounter, and for Ivanovna's sake, she didn't need to know. Echo didn't miss a beat. I asked Richard to join me on a trip to Europe, said Echo. I had some time and made reservations for him to join me in eastern Ukraine. I see, said Ivanovna. Tell me more about the aliens. Couldn't tell if Ivanovna believed my lie or not, but I couldn't back down now. They weren't the same aliens that Bogdan and Taya came across. They were different. How different? They walked on 4 legs, I said. Ivanovna gasped. Tell me more. I can only tell you what I remember. Maybe you need hypnosis to remember it all, questioned Ivanovna. I shook my head. That won't be necessary. It was all horrifying, that I would rather not remember all of what happened.